It's really nice to see all of you here. This is one of those Fridays that it's like, maybe we should all still be out in the sun getting our vitamin D conversions. But we're here and I'm glad you're here. You're in the temple of Jidao. Jidao Guan is, I'm going to call it a flavor of Taoism that was birthed by Grandmaster Wei Renfeng, who you see in the picture with Master Alex Fang at a younger period in his life. Jidao Guan is a very special place because it's not just here where you're physically sitting. And those of you that have been here before are going, yep, we got that. But it is hopefully something that you take away with you, that is something that you work with, you play with, it provokes you over the 30 or so days in between our last Friday of the month classes. The intent of the classes is embodied in the name of Jidao Guan. Jidao Guan meaning Guan, the view, of Je, the ultimate, and Dao, the way or the path. Grandmaster Wei Renfeng liked to also call it the supreme way, and was very intent as he developed this path of Taoism that it would be taught in a way from teacher to student, from individual to individual, that it could be grasped, understood, incorporated into your daily life, and that you wouldn't have to struggle with it. You wouldn't have to ponder and go to class every night, read the whole Tao Te Ching, although you can if you want, but that you would be able to learn from the teacher of Jidao Guan a way for your own path, for your own ultimate way. Grandmaster Fang began this in China, where he was a noted Taoist scholar, teacher, and philosopher, and he began to teach his son, Master Alex Fang, as a very young child in the way of the Tao, as well as subsequently the martial arts, and then the healing path of traditional Chinese medicine. When the family came to the United States, Grandmaster Fang continued to develop and evolve his thoughts about this, and he kept track of them in lots of little tiny notebooks. And so we have those, and when you see the quote in the pamphlet that we use each month, the first quotation is actually something that we have this game of we reach into the box, pull out one of the little books and open it. Now, I have a bit of a struggle because he wrote in Chinese, German, and an almost unintelligible English. So I really need a teacher or a translator to help me with that. But I think you can see, especially if you've been coming we've been doing this now for a lot of years, that his spirit is very much here with us tonight. And Dr. Fang and I were realizing that this year he would have been 100 years old. So we're thinking about different ways to celebrate him, and being here with you tonight is certainly a really important way for us to do that. I always like to think about what's happened over the intervening 30 days that, for me personally, is something that brings the Tao home to me, that I can share. And one of the things that happened this month was that there was a young man right across the street here on MacArthur who was unfortunately killed on his bicycle when he was leaving the bus, and someone opened their car door into him on his bicycle, and he was literally thrown under the bus and died. Dr. Fang said, "Don't tell them that story. Nobody wants to die. We don't want people to be afraid." And that actually wasn't my reaction to it. When I first heard this, I was very sad. But the first thing I thought was, Mr. Fitzpatrick got up this morning, brushed his teeth, had his breakfast, thought about what his day would be, timed which bus he was going to get, not thinking or knowing that he wouldn't be coming home. So what kind of day did he have? And using that as my lesson for myself in terms of what kind of day do I want to have? And not saying that, you know, I live my life in a way that if I died tonight, I would have no regrets or remorses. And even as I say that, I'm like, so what if I did? I'm no longer here. It's okay. But bringing home to me the importance of having something that you can practice that helps you live your life in a way that you are enriching yourself, enriching others, as we like to say in Taoism, polishing the pearl within, and not spending time being angry, holding grudges, wondering why someone else got ahead of me, why the world isn't fair to me, but really looking through the eyes of the Tao about the wealth that is around us, and seeing that, pulling it into us in a way that just nourishes us, instead of robbing us or dehydrating us, if you will. So with that, I know that the teaching Dr. Fang's been doing over the last 11 years, and before that, the 35 years that he's been doing his Taoist supported martial arts as well as his healing practice, and has touched many people with that. I'm really convinced there's a lot here, and I hope that there'll be things here for you today that you can take home with you. I know some of you are new. That might be your first time in a Taoist gathering. We often get questions on the internet. I want to come, but what should I wear? What should I do? What will it look like? So I'm always thrilled when new people come, because I know you probably went through that yourself. We're not quite like the Lutherans, where there's one of us on every corner. So I appreciate in you that you're here with us tonight. And with that, I'll turn the class over to Dr. Fang.
Thank you, Shani. A couple of things. Sometimes Lutherans are also Taoists. Maybe there is one at each corner. Just have to. Also, Shani mentioned that I may have said to her, which I don't recall, something about not telling you somebody died. That you may be like worried or fearful. I'm for sure you're going to die. I'll tell you that right now. So, I teach a class in Qigong for a cancer patient that cultivates integrated medicine, comprehensive cancer care center. And the first thing I say to all the students, most of them are cancer patients, yes, this practice will not guarantee your longevity, will not guarantee that you even won't get sick. It won't guarantee that you won't die. It is a practice. It is a practice. It can help you get stronger. It can help you recover from your illness. It can help you prevent more serious problems if you're sick. It can give you community people that you can relate to for the benefit of just improving your chi, nothing else. It can give you a peace of mind. It can help you be at ease and comfortable with yourself and with all that's around you. It is a practice. That's all. Taoism is a way of looking at things, a way of being, and a way of becoming. How many new people do we have today? Well, a lot. Welcome. So I'll start with what I usually do, a brief description of it, what Taoism may be. The character Tao is written in the radical of the self that moves. There's a line. The line represents two schools of thoughts, possibly, maybe more. But the two schools of thought is one is harmony, the other is transcendence. And the two dots on top of the Tao represents yin and yang differences. The self, the operative word, the self that moves in harmony of yin and yang differences or transcend differences. That is the understanding of Tao. And in the first chapter of Tao Te Ching, it talks about Tao Ka Tao Fei Chang Tao. The Tao that you can talk about may not be the ordinary path. Fei Chang means not ordinary. Some people say it as not Tao Ka Tao. The Tao that can be talked about is not the Tao. Some people say Tao Ka Tao is the unusual Tao. Not the usual Tao. So, meaning, you have to figure out for yourself what it is. What we do here is just offer you a view. Guan means view, perspective. It's just a view, just a view, that's all. You have to decide how you interpret, how you use it for yourself. No judgment for yourself or for others. Because once it moves, we say, the truth is when you have no choice. You have no choice. You have no choice. You have to be whatever you are at that moment. That's Tao. Tao Ke Tao Fei Chang Tao. Ming Ke Ming Fei Chang Ming. The second sentence says, that which can be named is the unusual name. Or that which can be named is not its true name. Or that which can be named doesn't represent the word of the name. So we don't identify. We try not to lock into identification. Young, old, death, life, right and wrong, good and bad, short and tall, smart and dumb, rich and poor. We stay away from the world of duality. But that doesn't mean you have no decision, that you don't think, you don't act. You're confused about, well, what is it? We say, you know what it is. Yes, we all have had education. We all have ancestral education. Your DNA, you have all kinds of information inside of you. Your body knows how to survive as a species. It is information that's been passed down through you, inside of you. Yes, you've been brought up by a caretaker, whether it's your parents, grandparents, mamas, nannies, whoever, same thing. They teach you their perspective. You absorb some of that out of honor to the teaching. Whether it's good for you, whether it's comfortable for you, it's another story. You'll learn it. Of course, there's school. You go to school. And school tells you how to speak, how to say, what not to say. Some schools even tell you how to think. Some schools says, just think. Just think. Other schools, no, you must think this way. Many schools will tell you, you must think this way. So you program. Society have rules. If you cross a stop sign, even when nobody's there, you're going to get a ticket.
Anybody we know?
Anybody we know? There are like rules everywhere. There are like lessons everywhere. There are like teachings everywhere. You absorb all of those. And you have your own sort of things that you figured out in life. This and that, this and that. You have your own sort of rules. I should, you should, kind of rules. We say, all that is good. Use it as a reference. Don't lock into it. Use it as a reference. Use it as a reference. Once you lock into it, you're stuck. It doesn't mean you can't change. It doesn't mean the stuckness doesn't fit you or not comfortable for you. You can be stuck. It's perfectly okay. As I was teaching the class at Alta Base, one man raised the question, Qigong, he says, isn't it dangerous? China has outlawed a certain kind of Qigong. They are afraid of this type of practice. I said, China? Everybody in China? That's a lot of people. Afraid? You want to be afraid of something? And the way we look at it is, if you want to be afraid, go ahead. You really like fear, go ahead. Just occupy it. Live with it. Indulge in it. Be scared. Not only be scared, let the fear of fear play with fear. Let the fear of fear play with fear. One time, a friend of mine, his name is Tenkai, a unique individual, monk in Japan. He's a friend of mine, used to be my judo partner. He said to me, Alex, you're stupid. I said, stupid? I said, I have more titles after my name than you have in your name, characters in your name. He says, yes. But you're afraid to be stupid. Wow. He says, my job is to cut your corners so you're round. That made an impression with me. The other day I was teaching a class, and the students were doing push hand. And those of you who don't know push hand, it's an exercise in which you contact another person. In our particular system, we use only the strength and energy and awareness of a string tied to a kite. That's how much effort we put in. It's pretty easy. Just have to fly a kite. And some of the students were very, they want to win. They want to win. You push me over, I'm going to push you over. Look at how much I can put, how strong I am, how clever I am, how fast I am. And I finally had to stop the class and said, it's really important that you can't just let go of the need to win. I remember once I was learning Qigong from a teacher from Hawaii. He used to be a basketball player. Very tall guy. He came to our school and taught a class in Qigong. And he was a very interesting guy. He showed us how to chant. So he would go into this chant that would hey. Stone on our mind. This goes on for a while. We were very impressed with his ability to guide us into this meditative state with sound. And he said, did you know what I just did? Chanting mantras. Yes, he says, that was my phone number. Don't be stuck. Don't be stuck. Don't be stuck with anything. Move along. Take a look. Take a look. I was teaching UC Berkeley, and somebody says, without right and wrong, there will be chaos. Without good and bad, knowing good and bad, there will be destruction, cruelty. And I looked at him and I said, what would you do? Would you be unkind? Would you be cruel? Would you be mean? Would you be chaotic? He says, no. That's good enough. Taoism just gives you a perspective, a view. You have to do what you need to do with it, without judgment, and without hanging on to it, even the principles. Certainly not the person who's giving you the principle. But the principle itself, I need to evaluate. A story was told by a Swami to a group of audience. He says he was a Zen student in Japan, and he went to meet a guru in India, Muktananda, and presented the treasures of the world of art, fan, ink brush, and a beautiful Zen poem. And the teacher leaned over and said, "Move." He thought, oh, how rude. I came all the way from Japan. I've studied for years this Zen tradition. Now here I give you a gift of such poetic beauty. You tell me to move? But because he was a Zen student, he went and contemplated on what that was about. And he recognized, don't be stuck, not even with your tradition, not even with your ritual, not even with your gifts, not with the pride that you have. Let it go. Move. A simple word that transforms. You are what you practice is this year's theme for our Taoist conference. I hope you all come and play. Not only come, invite people that you know to come. We'll call it self-promotion. Other people will put other things in front of it, but we just say it's self-promotion. That's all you're doing. You're not promoting anything else except yourself to the person you invite. That's all. A very wealthy man told me once, I sell buildings, but I don't sell buildings to people. I sell people's wishes of a building back to them. I said, whoa. So you're saying I need to buy myself? I need to buy myself? He says, yes. That's all I do. I facilitate that. Good salesman. 道可道非常道，名可名非常名。The Tao that can be talked about is the unusual Tao. It is your Tao. Yours. Self is the operative word, self. Self that moves beyond yin and yang differences. All differences. All differences. Even the difference between the void and consciousness. The void and consciousness. We say yin and yang was created by the great ultimate, Tai Chi. Tai Chi is the aha state. Tai Chi. Tai Chi. When you get on, whatever you want to do, put a little pepper in your food, taste a little sharp, just right. That's realization. It's realization. Realization is not like a big deal. It's just realization. Not a big deal. You can have it. You can have it constantly if you keep that state of being ready for it and absorbing it, being in it. It just takes a little practice. The theme of our Taoist conference this year. What is a Taoist? What is Taoism? What is Chi Taoism? huge. It's a huge historical, sociological, ethno, philosophical thing. It's a soup. Very hard to know what ingredients went into the soup. I can only tell you what I know from my teaching and my learning. And you will have your own experiences and figure out what it is about yourself that you need to know. It is the study of Tao. The study of Tao. There's nothing more than the study of the self. We have an exercise that we do in Qigong class. A very simple exercise. We did it in here before, we talked about it before. This is when two people come and they touch their fingers. One person would walk around and maybe can connect to other people. You can have like a line, like a dragon. And the first person will lead, the tail will follow, the body will follow. And then on command, the other end will take over. So the tail becomes the head. We say that's connectivity. That's connectivity. Taoism is just connectivity with yourself. You are everything. You're the head of the dragon, you're the body of the dragon, you're the tail of the dragon, you're the dragon in motion, you're the dragon that's not moving, you're the space, everything. But you have to say the operative word. You have to say the mantra of all times. The mantra of all times is, I am. It's a mantra not just of this culture, of many cultures. I am. I am. Just I am. Say it over and over again. I am. Well, what is it that you want to be? I am what? I am what? I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm hungry. I'm snoring, ready to go to sleep. I'm happy. I'm confused. I'm a little bit angry. I'm not happy. I'm not clear. I am. I am. I am okay. I am breathing. I see humor in things, as difficult as they may be. Yes. I go beyond. I go beyond yin and yang. It's just a state of being. No big deal. Don't make a big thing out of it. Somebody was talking to me, another physician was talking to me about Falun Gong. Her sister studied Falun Gong in China and basically went crazy. Psychotic. And thought that she was a deity. Other things happen, don't eat food and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, what is it about? There's nothing wrong with thinking of yourself as a deity. There's nothing wrong with not eating. There's nothing wrong dying, thinking you're a deity. There's nothing wrong, not to think that way either. But you're a human being, you got, a body, you got people you got to relate to, you got laws, you got government, you got taxes. You got things. It's okay not to be at a place, just have a hard time living. Who are you in the midst of all of this, which is our existence? How do you choose? Joseph Campbell says, follow your bliss. It's okay thing to do. It's fine. Follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. Follow But first you got to know what your bliss is. You know? Somebody asked me, do you know your bliss? I was like, wait a minute. Wait, let me think about that. Do you know your bliss? Raise your hand if you don't. One. One more time. Start thinking, do I really know my bliss? If you don't know, find it. Just look for it under your pillow. Look for it in trees, look for it in books. We say there are 3 ways of learning. 1, observation, experience. If you can see, you can smell, you can touch, you can feel. Use that, your sensories, to learn. We call that sutra. Jing, sutras. Jing, Nei Jing. Internal crossing. Jing. Shen Jing, the Bible. Jing just means pathways, walkways. You need to see and experience your walkway, your path. Can I get from here to there? If I want to get there, how do I get there? What is the path available for now? Know it, just take a look. Not only know it in terms of seeing, sense it. There's light, there's sound. As I walk past, there's smell. There's so much information in this room. There's history in this room. There's people to sweat, tears, thoughts, occupying the space that you can, if you want to, get in touch with and recognize. You need to know Jing. Jing. Jing is written words, spoken words. Jing. Sutras. Sutras means few words that means a lot. Love, Dharma, kindness, benevolence. Big words. Realization, Tao. Big words. Just one sentence. One character. 2 or 3 characters. Jing. Second, ways of learning. We need a pointer. Sometimes you don't see. It's nice somebody said, hey, look. Look at those 2 dragons on the wall. What do they have between them? There's not 2 dragons. There are 4 dragons. Is this water or clouds they're riding on? Look, see, sense. But somebody has to say, look, see, sense. That somebody can be anything. Could be a cat, could be a rock, could be a breeze of wind that brush against you, could be a chill that runs through your spine, could be a shiver, could be a jolt, could be a sour taste in your mouth or your stomach. It could be weakness in your knees, blurred vision ringing in the ears. These are all messages. These are all teachers. Listen. Follow the teaching. That's for you. But you have to be available and open for the teaching. Third ways of learning is through doubt. You have to let the path reveal itself to you. Let the path take you somewhere. Let the path take you. Sometimes you can make a path. Carve a new path. All right, everybody from here on will decide that I make a path. And you can make your own path. It's possible. All kinds of ways of doing it. Creative. And if you're not creative, you just have to go with the path that's seemingly there. If you're creative, you can mode of the universe. Dao has to reveal itself to you. Jing, Shu, Dao. And always give gratitude once you have a lesson. Give gratitude. It's not that gratitude is nice for that person. It is, and you have gratitude within you to give. You have it. It's a nice thing that you have gratitude. That you have gratitude. Not everybody has it all the time. Taoism also teaches a state we call a state of Zen-Ren. Is described in the Meiji Su Wen, first chapter. Sang, Zen, Ren. Sang is above, who is old. Above all, Zen means real, Mensch, Ren, a Mensch, Zen-Ren. Ancient, old knowledge. And it talks about what a person is. If you get a chance, Google it. Find out who is a real person, an immortal sometimes called. Who is a sage? Who is a benevolent wise one? Who is a saint? Well, how do you become these people? Right? This is just fantasy. It's just words. Alice in Wonderland? Or does it actually take you somewhere and can transform you? We say, you decide. But if you don't take the journey, you never know. The good thing about being a human is that you can always revert back to yin and yang. Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes. No. You always revert back to your state of yin and yang. No big deal. Doable. Okay. Where was I?
Can revert back.
Three ways of learning. What else? This is just a quiz. So you're actually paying attention, or you're just resting because my voice is so sweet. Yes. Maybe. Wow, maybe.
How about
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I asked that a lot. Where am I? The Taoists call that, it's a state of being. You like it, huh? She said, now it makes sense. My student finally said to me today, now it makes sense. I finally get it, you're a Taoist. I've known her for
35 years.
that long. Corey? Wow. I'm not that. She is. That's a good one. It's a state called Wang. Wang means forget, Wang means I. It is a state of Wang. Forget yourself. Forget your identification with yourself. Let's just take a second. Don't worry, you'll come back. Not everybody should do this. Because some of you have a hard time in different worlds. You have a hard time recognizing the worlds. Worlds are different. Just like colors are different. You need to recognize the worlds and be able to manage, is the word that we use. Manage. You need to have management skills. You need to be able to manage crossing and coming back of the worlds. And some of you is worlds, some of you are worlds. It's just a skill, just a tip. So you don't like completely live in a different world. Hard to communicate with you in this plane. I teach a class at CCC that Maureen went. We have about 14, 15 kids who are in a different plane. Just in a different plane. Sometimes they can't look at you. Sometimes they don't talk. It's interesting. But they're so tuned in. Even though they're in a different world, they come into this world in the teaching, in class, and learn things. Not only learn things, remember them. Not only remember them, demonstrate. Not only demonstrate, to joy in the demonstration and recognition of the self that's able to do that. It is a miracle. The teacher said these students have a hard time focusing for 5 minutes. In class, they're there for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Engaged. Not all of them. One runs around. This one that runs around actually demonstrated 2 techniques. There you go. So he was indeed, just not the way that in classroom they used to. Is it a fantasy? I was in India, 1990, in Ganeshpuri, and Guru Maya's ashram, my yoga teacher. And I was sitting talking to some folks, elderly Indian gentlemen. Why are you here, he says. Kids running around, everybody having food, a video showing the wall. And I said, well, I'm here to, learn about realization. Learn about realization. I said, well, realize. That's what we're here. I was like, huh? Huh? And at that moment, a beam of light came into me. Picturing the wall. And I was like, whoa. And the gentleman said, see? At the same time. And I was like, how could he see this? Everybody's still running around. Nothing's happening. I was like, wait, this is some trick. It's gotta be some trick. Some FX, what do you call it? You know about it, how to create the illusion. So I told my daughter, I said, Bobby, I had this experience. And, it's just some some people with back laser beam shining on me. I could see some magic stuff, man. Some of my students would be willing to let it you got a beam on you. And you're like, whoa. And she just laughed and laughed and laughed. She says, you know how quickly you forget your experience. I was like, oh. What a lesson for my daughter. How quickly you doubt and forget your own experiences. How quickly. So it's not hard to be in a realized state. We're all realized beings. That's what we're here. Oh, we forget so very fast. We forget so very fast. So you need the 3 teachers. You need Da. You need
Sutras. Sutras.
Jing. And
Sure.
what is it? You need a pointer, a teacher. Somebody that whispers something to you, you pay attention to. You need a teacher. We all need teachers. my students. Somebody lost me. So in the martial art class, we're going to push hand. And I said to the students, let go of winning, but also be willing to be like the most helpless, loser, the most magnificent loser for the person you're working with. In Japanese, the word is uke. Uke means partner. Somebody who works with you. You have to be willing to submit to the person you're working with, so they can learn their limits. It's a hard lesson. This teacher that I was chanting about, he said to me, Alex, why do you resist so much? Why do you always test everything? Just so that you would know. Sometimes people have things to share with you, and you can learn from. If you don't, always test them. I was like, whoa, okay. You sure? Your own nature is something you have to cultivate. It's part of Taoism. Your own nature. You have to figure out what's your nature. Born of your heart is your nature. You need to cultivate that. So you recognize what your nature is. Recognizing who you are. Recognizing your spirit self, your realized self. Recognize your nature. Who are you? Who are you? Left alone, who are you? Your nature. And of course, in your body, your temple. You should cultivate your body. It's a nice instrument. You should take good care of it. It serves you well. It submits to you well. In the most beautiful way. So we say, you need to cultivate your nature and your life. Your life is your body, strength, energy, your practice. Your nature is your spirit, your heart, your logic. Yes, your logic, your thoughts. Cultivate those. Get to know them. Get to know them. Practice. I had a question. The question is about what is a belief? What is a belief? What is a belief? What's a belief? There's no accident there.
I tried to tell you not to, but I wouldn't listen. But
Nature's
we both
changed.
believe, right?
There's two of us. World of duality.
I guess something we believe is...
No, not something we believe. I didn't ask we.
Well, but I have the mouse in my pocket and where is it?
The mouse is you.
Exactly.
What do you believe?
What do I believe?
I, not the word, not we, I. For now, just I. You can go we later if you want to. Or us. Whatever you like. But for now, I, just I. What do I believe? And what is belief? Those questions.
I believe in
Yes.
It's a question sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes a question. Sometimes I believe. Sometimes I question my belief. But that means sometimes you don't. Okay? So it's a yin and yang thing. Belief was belief. When I say the word belief, it comes to mind.
Something we can get stuck on.
Something we can
Talk about?
The
stock. Like we can
Get stuck.
stuck on. I believe. Yeah. So it's a thought. It's a thought. Okay.
Something I carry with me.
And you carry in your hand, on your shoulder. When you carry
In my mind.
you carry thoughts in your mind.
In my body, maybe.
So belief is thoughts that you carry. Okay? Without thoughts, there's no belief. Is that correct? In your framework.
In my
Okay? So you can live with belief or without belief. It's just a choice. And if you have thoughts and you have belief, if you have no thoughts and you don't have belief. Am I right? With your framework. Right now, maybe it's that middle line when it has a connotation of question. I said earlier, no choice. There's a difference between question and no choice. You can question. It's not the same as no choice. So, Chi Dao, the character Chi, is written as a line on top, a line on the bottom, either a triangle or a circle, and a cross. It was an ancient writing. And the way it was explained to me by my father is, boundaries are open-ended. Yin and yang exist in between. That was my lesson. It took me years to this is cool. 2 lines, any symbol in between. You move around, of course, because this end is without end. Just this way, boundaries. This way. No ends. It moves. It can travel, it can change. It's defined by Yuzotai. It's designed so that you have differences in between, created by boundaries. Chito. We offer that one, that view to we offer the character of Tao as the self that moves beyond harmony or differences. We offer that view.
Just about the question of belief. It seems as if...
You have to speak a little more.
The question of belief. It's like, it's a reflection. You were talking about states of being. Belief is just a state of being.
Believe is your state of being. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's great. Yes. Naomi?
Okay, a belief is what people believe or what people think are
There are no
true.
people. There's only I. There's only you. I ask you
Okay,
that.
my beliefs are what I think is true.
Say it again.
My beliefs are what I think is true.
What is true? Tell me one truth that you believe in. accident this child is here. This is education. This is a point of view. This is how Taoists teach. This is how we do it. Hopefully we record it. There's been years, believe me, there's been years it's not being recorded. People come to hide. Doesn't work. They come after me, I take your lecture, listen to it, go. So nothing, even if you try. This camera was a whole other story. Thank you, David.
That's quite a statement that little girl made.
Yes.
Which is a real fact. What she believes is true is her belief.
Yes.
She's pretty knowledgeable.
That's why she's here. So she can give lessons to us.
Okay. I believe that I'm good at music.
You have to say it again.
I believe that I'm good at playing flute.
I believe
That I am good at playing flute.
you're good at playing.
Flute.
You definitely like that.
I believe I'm good. Yeah, I believe I'm good at. I believe I'm good at.
Playing flute.
I'm slow today. And I believe I'm good at playing. How can you not love Taoism? It comes from a place of love and acceptance and understanding. Yes, it's not the easiest thing to do. But we say it's only for yourself. Just for you. You have to love it. You have to have it. You have to possess it. You have to be comfortable with it. You have to be comfortable with yourself. That's our mantra. Be comfortable with yourself. Cookie lady. She's very comfortable with herself. Oh, no, it's okay. She's quiet. She's very comfortable. She comes here and she mesmerized by that voice. I love it. I love it. I just love it. And of course, mesmerized by the gong. And of course, mesmerized by Shani's cookie. Not to mention the company and the energy of the space. What else can we say about it? Anybody else besides? Yes.
Yeah, I feel there's just like kind of like a construct, like kind of what our thoughts kind of lay out how certain things are, but it's not necessarily that those are actually the way things are. Do you see what I mean?
Do I see what you mean?
Yeah. Before I run along.
Let me pull the words out in front of me. Take a look. I see. I feel is what you said.
Right.
I feel. It doesn't say I see. Your sensory gifts is not from seeing. Your sensory gifts is from feeling. I feel, kind of. Said that a couple of times. Kind of. I don't know what kind of means.
We can forget I said that.
So could you say it again?
I'll try. Yeah, I feel it's a construct.
I try. So here's the lesson. A young girl said to me once, I said, that is something. She said something to me, I said, I'll try. She looked at me and says, there's no such thing. Either you do it or you don't. It was like 17-year-old. Okay. There's no such thing as I tried. You just do it.
Cool.
Yeah. Start again.
Yeah. It's a construct, or maybe framework's a better way to say it, that we create with our thoughts, that I create with my thoughts, to kind of lay out how the world is to manage it better.
Yeah. Thoughts becomes construct. Right? Thoughts we talked about earlier is your thoughts. It course allows it to be concrete, almost permanent.
Right.
Until somebody
Shattered.
just and your construct has to change. It's a construct, absolutely right. Thoughts, my father used to call it thought form. Thought form. Construct. Yes.
The belief is the leap of faith. So the word implies thought and logic, but actually belief has more to do with feeling. There you go.
What about it?
What about it? So I actually, it goes beyond a mental construct.
Tell me the feeling part. Feel the feeling part.
I didn't.
Let me know. What are you talking about?
Oh,
I believe I got to be aware of what's actually happening, because their thought could be wrong, things could change, and I got to change my investment opinion. And what's interesting in my life, I do what she said. I think it's true, and I don't question it in my own life. So I should be questioning my beliefs more, because I just think it's true, and be more like I question the beliefs of someone I'm talking to for an investment, and change my opinion when I find it's not quite true.
I agree with you.
So that's what you're saying. So I'm not questioning my beliefs enough and changing them, because I'm very successful in investing. I can maybe more successful in my life by questioning my own beliefs and changing them when I find they're not true.
Sounds okay to me.
How should I do
I don't
it?
know where you understand this or not, but this is the lesson. This is how it's done. It's always funny, but this is how it's done.
Belief is a view.
A view of your eyes, or a view of your mind, or a view of your feelings, or a view of your experience, or a view of your assessment.
I was saying view of perspective.
Perspective. Perspective. Perspectives are what?
How you view the world.
How you view the world. It is a visual thing. Right? Maybe visual in thoughts as well. You're not just seeing things, but you're seeing thoughts as things. Right? So it's still a seeing thing. So if you don't see, what would happen?
A feeling perspective.
You would have to feel. If you don't see, you don't feel like now. Brown cow. My father called this pushing the thoughts. Push the thoughts, push the thoughts, push the thoughts. Pushing, because he's stuck with a thought. You're stuck with a thought. Truth, experience, feeling, thoughts, vision, you. Push it. Move. Move. The path reveal itself to you. It's good stuff. Magical. Any questions?
Yeah, one more question. You started off with bliss. You didn't explain what bliss is. And, things like the economy is going bad, you have a problem. You stay in bliss, whatever bliss means.
Good question.
Well, what's the We'll start with the definition of bliss.
Okay.
Then how do you stay in that
Well,
state?
you tell me.
That's the question.
You know this question. Tell me. Tell me. What's bliss?
I don't know.
Find out. That's what I said in class. That's the first thing I said to you. If you don't know what bliss is, find out. You don't expect me to do a videotape for you, do Do you?
Yes.
You do? I would do that. And we say, don't make suggestions unless you're able to carry it out. So I expect you to help me do the video on these lessons. That would be your responsibility since you opened the door.
I could probably do it.
Probably. Probably. Probably is not good enough. It's like trying. Try. Remember the little girl? I remember the little girl. So, be aware of your thoughts. Be aware how you present them. Be aware what you're asking. Be aware what you're saying. Who are you saying it to? Be aware. This is so fun. The good thing is that you can always say yes and no. You can go to the Lord of being. Well, I don't want to do the video for you. I was just talking. What to do? I just want to tell you, thought form can open up a lot of things. You let it. So, just have fun, enjoy. Be true to yourself. True to yourself. Take a look. Just take a look, explore. Is the Tao with you? If not, ring a bell. Make some noise. Tao needs to know you want it. Make sure you have some sutras. Make sure that you have some teachings. Yeah? If there's no more questions, we'll meditate for a short time. Meditation is one of the best ways that I know, we know, to help you go into the state of yourself. The easiest way, most comfortable way. It's a path in many, 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 many traditions. So try it. Some of you who have a busy mind, if you have a busy mind, just let go of the investment of the busy mind for a while. Forget the investment. They say, somebody said, but I like it a lot. Don't go after knowledge. Your life is short. In a short span of your life, don't go after something that's so far and vast. Know the essence of things. So, some of you would have to search for this. Hello? Where are you? Are you there for me? Yeah. Some of you will have to find peace of mind, peace in your heart. Some of you will have to find forgiveness. You need to forgive yourself for not forgiving. Forgiving is just forgetting. That helps to forget. But and some of you need to search for strength within yourself. Some of you need love, compassion, caring, tenderness. Some of you just need to go to sleep and wake up refreshed. Don't worry about anything, time being. Some of you need to let go of your sadness. It's heavy to carry in your chest. Let it go. keep it too long. And keep coming back all the time to visit you. Not so good for your health. Some of you need to open your inner eye. You need to open your inner eye. You need to see, truly see, from within yourself. And that's all. Just look. Just take a look. I'll give you some time. Don't be afraid. We have a mantra for fear. The mantra is, I'm comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable with myself. If you're comfortable with yourself, no harm can exist or coexist in that space. If you don't believe me, try it. Be comfortable with yourself and summon something that's unpleasant. Try it. Doable, but not easy. Because you start being comfortable with whatever you just summoned. Be comfortable with yourself. Some of you need to go back to your own source. You lost your ways. Don't wonder. Just let the path reveal itself to you. Look. The path will reveal itself to you. Feel. The path will reveal itself to you. Sense. The path will reveal itself to you. Just be. Just be. So we'll meditate for a little while and try those things. Just go wherever you like to go inside yourself. Just take a look. Take a good posture. Just sit like whatever you can, good posture.
Thank you, what a wonderful lesson. And Mikey, thank you for playing. And Shannon, thank you for videotaping. We'll all cross our fingers and see what we get. I'd like to introduce all of you to Maureen, who's going to be teaching Diane, or Wild Goose Qigong, here at our center starting right around the corner, June, coming up on Wednesdays. We're very happy that she's going to do that. I think the Diane Qigong is a form that many of you are familiar with and has been taught here before. So,
And by a great being.
And by a great being. Anything you want to say about the class, Maureen? Or
Please come.
there you go. Thank you. And I wanted to remind you, I put it in the newsletter, and if you don't get our newsletter but would like to, you can make sure I have your email before you go. Dr. Fang is participating in the Hand-to-Hand 30th celebration. Hand-to-Hand is a very well-known martial arts school just on the border of Emeryville and Oakland, which was founded by one of Dr. Fang's friends and colleagues, Colleen. I just blanked on her last name. Colleen Creed. And Colleen's no longer with us, but her students have kept the school going, and they're going to be celebrating 30 years. Dr. Fang will be performing in the multi-martial arts presentation Saturday night at Laney College in the auditorium. It's going to be a combination of different styles of Tai Chi, which should be great fun. And then teaching the basics of Chen style Sunday morning at 9 o'clock at Hand to Hand. And shortly after that, he'll be going to LA to participate in the International Taoist Studies Conference, which is a very academic kind of thing. But should also be interesting. And if you're in LA and want to participate in that, it's at the Loyola Marymount College campus. And then 2 more Saturdays after that, he's going to participate in the Juneteenth celebration. And Wanda, who's the creative artist of that celebration, is here. Would you like to tell us about it, Wanda?
Juneteenth is one of the surviving celebrations of the Emancipation Proclamation. And so I thought it was important that not just the picnic, parade, pageant part of a celebration be brought out, but also to celebrate that for our country 145 years ago. That was a great victory for black and white alike to finally come to the end of that period in our history. And so I invited people of all of the faiths of the enslaved people who had come to this country. And so some of, in 1855, there were Chinese laborers working next to African Americans in Alabama and Mississippi. And so there was a time when our people crossed in this great tragedy. And so to that, I asked Dr. Fang to come and offer a prayer on behalf of those ancestors who also died before freedom came.
Thank you, Wanda. Very special. I think I really admire, we were talking about finding your bliss. And I think Wanda's been talking with us, I think, for 3 years. Could we arrange our schedules for one of those Juneteenth celebrations to do this? And I really value that she persists with us to bring a spiritual part to that celebration. It's at Lake Merritt on the, is that the 19th, Wanda? This?
Yeah, June 19th.
Yeah, June 19th. And it starts at 10:30? 10 o'clock. So if you're around Lake Merritt that Saturday and would like to join us, we would certainly like to see you there. We have a couple rituals when we end, and one of those is not usually that Dr. Fang stands up and leaves, but sometimes he does. I was going to invite you to come up and say hello to him. He usually stays here in the front for a few minutes if you would like to do that, but not tonight. So we will have tea and cookies in the back of the room. Please join us, and I hope you'll think about coming back and being with us on the rest of the last Friday of the month. Last Friday of the month. Thank you for being with us.